As Paul is beginning to conclude 1 Corinthians, he begins a shift away from issues of divisiveness to issues of unity. He speaks of the diversity of gifts given to the community and how, though they are many and diverse, work together in one cohesive whole as a body made of many parts. He then goes on to say how love holds together all those diverse pieces, and then makes an interesting turn because he qualifies the value of two particular gifts. One is prophecy and the other is speaking in tongues. Speaking in tongues he undervalues, saying unless there's someone to interpret, it really only helps you but doesn't build up the body, doesn't help the community. On the other hand, prophecy is both a stronger witness to the larger world, but also an encouragement to the community, a corrective to the community. He then in chapter 14 shifts to when they gather, when they ecclesia, and says when you gather, everyone should bring something. Everyone should bring a hymn, a song, bring their own gift. And then, interestingly enough, goes on to say, you start with the lesser gifts. Anyone who has a tongue should speak it, but only if there's someone there to interpret. If there's no one there to interpret, you don't speak in tongues in public worship. And then you have those who have a word of prophecy or admonition, and on and on. And then says, all this must be done decently and in order, because God is a God of decency and order. And says this twice. So it's very interesting because for Paul, these gatherings are obviously Spirit-led, Spirit-empowered, but they're not spontaneous. They are in fact prescripted. There's a hierarchy, there's an order to them, and everyone is participating. So the idea that we should have spontaneous worship that's Spirit-led isn't justified, at least by this passage. What is justified, however, is that anyone who gathers to worship is a worshiper, and that their gifts are necessary and needed. So the challenge of taking those principles and applying it to our churches today is asking people to use their gifts in worship, which means the challenge of worship leadership is to coordinate those gifts for the glory of God.